Murtim Dvandvaditam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadhilashyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamajalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavadhitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyananda, we welcome you all to another segment on the Nithyananda TV with the grace and blessings from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Today, we welcome all of you to the third day in the series on Bhagavad Gita Decoded, which is the preamble to the constitution of Kailasa, as ordained by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the reviver of the first Hindu nation.
Yes, as in fact, the preamble is to the constitution as Bhagavad Gita is to Vedas and Agamas. Because the preamble, as we already explained in the previous episodes, is the essence of the constitution of any country. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures of the entire Hinduism.
Yesterday, we understood the Arjuna Vishada Yoga. We had gone into the Arjuna Vishada Yoga and how Kailasa promises that no matter from where you operate, from your head, from your heart, from your being, you are welcome in Kailasa. Your needs will be accommodated. The second thing which we had gone over is the promise of listening. We promise you the space of listening, just as Bhagavan Sri Krishna gives Arjuna in the first chapter. And the third promise, to ferociously attend to your dilemma and empower you to know it is simply your own manifestation.
In fact, yesterday we learned that Kailasa is the best country that the world needs, Maharaj. We accommodate every type of person, regardless of religion, caste, or creed. We provide time and space of people to heal, empty themselves, rejuvenate themselves, and restore the space of completion. And well, we help people with the dilemmas.
And so the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, with his divine grace and blessings, has created a nation for healing, for empowering and enlightening anyone and everyone.
So Maharaj, yes, in fact, what we have seen in the previous episodes, how Kailasa empowers the citizens to heal to come out of their dilemmas. So I want to know, what is the topic today, Maharaj? What are we going to learn today? What is there in store for us today, Maharaj?
Today, Maharaj, we're going to be hearing, going to be looking and diving, exploring into the words of Bhagavan Sri Krishna for the first time in the Bhagavad Gita. Throughout the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna does not speak. He just listens, gives the space of listening for Arjuna to completely empty himself, to completely speak everything he wants to speak. Today, we're going to be looking into the first few words, the first few sentences, the first few statements Bhagavan Sri Krishna starts giving in the Bhagavad Gita. We'll be looking to as how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, through the preamble, is declaring the very rights of a person.
Wow, very excited to finally being able to hear the words of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the Purnavatara himself, and especially in the form of the current manifestation, the incarnation, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Yes, Maharaj. When Bhagavan Sri Krishna speaks, he reveals the divine cosmic rights that Arjuna is aware of and empowers Arjuna compassionately to try to stand up and fight his Dharma Yuddha, fight the Mahabharata. First, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism decodes from the Bhagavad Gita the right to cognize that we do not cease to exist. Let us hear from his own very words the truth. Here we have the Shastra Pramana, the scriptural reference from the Bhagavad Gita directly. Nainam chintyanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantapyapo, na shoshayati marutaha. In Bhagavad Gita Decoded, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism reveals that the first and ultimate truth of Advaitha, of oneness, is that we are God. is the first and most straight way to attend to the dilemma of our lives. Through this chapter in the Bhagavad Gita Decoded, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has indoctrinated into the modern world of governance the truth of an individual's divine rights.
Wow, what an absolute straight way to get to the point of everything. Because directly, boldly declaring you are divine, as the Supreme Pontiff himself says, deal with your small, small problems with the nuclear bombs of spiritual understanding, isn't it, Maharaj?
Exactly. You are God. This is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's one Mahavakya for all of us. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. We are Nithyananda, we are Paramashiva. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism goes on declaring the supremacy of this decision, of the ultimate conscious sovereignty. As Krishna, as Bhagavan Sri Krishna had done, and so the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is doing now, which is empowering the world with super consciousness as the first way to attend to yourself. Hinduism gives the best introduction to you about you as a manifestation of Paramashiva, the highest super consciousness.
Yes, in fact, if I may add, it sends a message actually to all the seekers of enlightenment in the world. Are you a serious practitioner of yoga towards your enlightenment? Come to the land where this is your very right. In fact, this is your very life. It's not just, once in a weekend kind of a thing or just the morning ritual. Now it is the first priority of your life and the very purpose of your life itself. This is really taking enlightenment seriously for the whole world today. What a possibility it is being given to the world, a land where your enlightenment is literally waiting for you.
The next right which we're looking at is the right to rejuvenation in perception. Through the Sankhya, self-introspection, the preamble of KAILASA'S constitution promises the liberation from perception itself. We have seen how the toll of our perception has made our lives go in every roundabout, from settling with the reality of impermanence. The truth of Sankhya Yoga, which is the second chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, is that the only reality is impermanence, that all our perceptions will dissolve along with the body and our senses.
So this would mean that you don't have to be stuck with one set of ideas about yourself, about the world, and others in your life. What a relief, what a refreshing way to approach going beyond your limiting perception. Let's say more than that also, you don't have to only be stuck that you are one body and mind also.
Actually, Maharaj, even entering into the next right to immortality, where Kailasa's constitution's preamble further declares the nature of our mortal sheaths. We have a right to realize our immortal nature. You can empower yourself by saying high statements as such, but we see death every day. So how do we cognize our immortality? Here we are introduced to the cosmic truth of reincarnated life cycles. Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, defines the body and its senses as just the cloth to cover ourselves, the cloth which we are covering our truer selves. When our clothes gets old, what do we do with them? We cast them away naturally, and we acquire new ones. In the same way, when we come down on earth, Bhagavan Sri Krishna gives this very beautiful relation, very beautiful example, how this body and everything which we are wearing is nothing but a cloth on our true self, on our real existence, on our true consciousness. Bhagavan Sri Krishna relates and says that our body and our senses are cast away, and our consciousness acquires new bodies and new senses.
Finally, the truth of reincarnation is written into a country's law books. So many fun possibilities when this law is given. What a beautiful introduction we have for ourselves. This is the greatness of our constitutional preamble. It deals with us from our core as consciousness. We are dealt with first and foremost as gods themselves. We are empowered with the answers to life's fundamental questions in our government's main documents. It's not just in the spiritual books or religious books. It's a part of the very governing structure of the nation. Here we are given the answer that we are not the body and the time and the mind. We move on after our bodies die. We are immortal in nature, and that is the fundamental truth of our existence, which is encoded now in the very preamble, the very essence of the constitution of the nation of Kailasa. This great truth is a resound of the Upanishads and the Vedas, the truth that is expounded in the Vedas and Agamas, how they declare us as Shrinvantu Vishwe Amritasya Putraha, as sons of immortality. In fact, we have an interesting conversation, if you remember, Maharaj, a few years ago, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivoham, he had with Sri Rajiv Malhotra about the possibilities when reincarnation is accepted in the very governing structure. So I just want to invite everyone, all the viewers, to have a look. Let's have a look. Look at this video from a few years back, when between the conversation between the Supreme Pontiff and Rajiv Malhotra, expounding on this possibility.
I will now propose a very provocative business strategy. We can do business like a smart lawyer can do smart lawyering. We can do business smart.
Yes.
This is a proposal which, according to Agama, once you revived this particular technique, should be available only to the Agama people, and it will create so much wealth. And the proposal is as follows. Some of you who are into venture capital and investment banking and so on, this will make you the richest man in the world, what I'm now going to tell you. If you go to Bill Gates, his biggest problem, you tell him, is that when you are dead, your wealth is useless for you in the next life, unless we can find you and transfer that wealth. So the proposal is, we go to Bill Gates and say, you got 100 billion, and you are giving philanthropy, this, that, because charity will get you to heaven and whatnot, that is your tradition. Out of the 100 billion, you give 50 billion to us in trust to be given to you in your next life when we find you. Because it is possible you may be born very poor. Bill Gates may be born very poor, and Warren Buffett may be born in some African village, is a very poor guy. Because, you know, the karma people, the people in the sky who are the admin for karma might say, okay, you had one good life, now you have to be poor also. So if we can, within the rules of the Agama, locate where Bill Gates is next time and give him at least 5-10 billion, he'll be much happier. So to do that, we form a trust management company. Normally, trust is formed to transfer your wealth to your biological offspring and all that. And these banks take a lot of commission and they pass it on to your kids and whatnot. So this will be the world's first inter-life reincarnation trust management. Okay.
I think if we do little more research and establish the authority,
we can do that.
It is possible.
Yeah. So
sure.
So right now, $40 trillion is owned by the world's richest 1% people. $40 trillion, which means when they're dead, it's gone kaput. They don't know if their kids are any good, not good. Some of it is taken by government here, there, whatever. So if we could get $1 trillion out of these 40, put into our trusteeship, where we will form these Agama groups. We will take the Gurukul kids and teach them as another manifestation. Warren Buffett will get 10 people meditating around him to keep track, entanglement, his being. And then like the
Actually, Agama even gives the methodology to bring back where you want.
Yeah, and so
we can be clearly guiding and bring back wherever we want.
So there'll be 2 levels of fee structure. One fee structure, you know, we take 25% of what he's put in trust is our fee. And what we do is, we got a GPS on his Jiva Atma. And these kids from the Gurukul will be entangled with Warren Buffett. Another 10 will be with Bill Gates. Like that with all these people. Another, maybe we'll need 50 for Mukesh Ambani. Because he needs more help, you know, more help. So each of these group will follow the Jivatma GPS, and where he's born, they'll go there and give him his money and say, we are authorized, we have qualified, this is how it works, and 25% is ours. If the guy wants to be born in a particular place of his choice, then the fee is 50%. Yeah. So this way we become the richest community. The Hindus with Agama become the richest technology, and rather than anybody supporting us, we will be actually the people supporting the whole world richest people. This could be happening. So maybe it'll take 5 years, 10 years. This is the world's most powerful R&D center. I feel that Swamiji is the most powerful cutting-edge research R&D person. Yeah. I will now propose a very provocative business strategy. We can do business like a smart lawyer can do smart lawyering. We can do business smart.
Yes.
This
Yes, and now you know how reincarnation theory is not just a theory anymore. It is a part of our lifestyle. It is a part of our very documentation itself. It's a part of our constitution, our laws. And now entering into the next, the right to living enlightenment, to experiencing, radiating, sharing the powerful space of enlightenment. You are empowered to feel and cognize you are responsible for the whole cosmos. You're right to express responsibilism. And so when you cognize yourself as the all-creating God, as all-creating Paramashiva, you have the right to empower yourself with responsibilism. The decision to feel responsible for the whole cosmos is enlightenment.
Yes, Maharaj. In fact, what a beautiful, foolproof way to ensure that someone is actually enlightened. So in Kailasa, you can't just sit in one place and declare you are enlightened and have no contribution in people's life. It feels good to see that your declaration of enlightenment is accepted only when you can show and promise that you are responsible for the whole cosmos, that you're actually living that principle of responsibilism, the leadership consciousness, and you're actually empowered and supported to live that leadership consciousness, to become a leader and feel responsible for the whole cosmos. It is in fact the proof of your enlightenment. This is a good way to get rid of and catch the faking enlightenment fraudulence also, I feel, Maharaj.
Feeling responsible, actually feeling responsible for the whole cosmos and declaring to live by your feeling is the responsible declaration, known as the Hindu practice of Nithyananda. We always feel that responsibility is a burden. No, it is not. It is a power. It is your right to declare your enlightenment by feeling responsible for the whole of cosmos. The magnificence of this right is exercised by so many incarnations. As we had gone over during the Sri Ramanavami Brahmotsavam for 10 days, speaking upon entering into exploring the various ways how Sri Rama manifested the leadership consciousness in his life and was a role model, not just for his time, but even for us today. The magnificence of this right was exercised by so many people. Sri Ramachandra Prabhu declares in the Ramayana, Abhayam Sarva Bhutebhyo. I give refuge to all the beings in the cosmos. Taking the responsibility for the whole cosmos was made into fashion itself by the great incarnations like Sri Rama and Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Today, we are so fortunate to witness the same conscious trend setting through the grand undertaking of the higher consciousness-related affairs of the world. Through Kailasa, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has declared his enlightenment, giving refuge to the whole cosmos, to the whole world, to each and every single one of us on the planet, to all the beings. He has declared that he feels responsible for the whole cosmos.
In fact, the idea that I'm getting is that Hindu fashion is in itself nididhyasana. It is not just man-made trends and this and that. No, it is cognizing and living the very truths, the highest truths of the cosmos. That is Hindu fashion. Nididhyasana is just being and just living the truth. This is also a good way to catch the hypocritical, intellectual attitude we have towards our scriptures, isn't it? We engage in knowing our scriptures many times just for the feel-good feeling of information. We just use this information to prove our point, never to change ourselves and put it into practice. Finally, we can ensure that this wrong attitude of preaching without practicing is put to check. And also, before we delve deeper and expand on further rights, I would invite all our viewers to sign up for the 21-day program, Paramashivoham, which is starting on 14th April. It is a program directly conducted by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, who will be directly guiding and initiating all of us into these highest truths, to the very science that the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the gifts that the Sanatana Hindu Dharma brings, and giving the superconscious breakthrough to the entire humanity. So basically, experientially introducing all these truths to all of us. So for that, we invite all our viewers to immediately sign up for the Paramashivam program. The QR code is being projected on your screens. And apart from that, also, we invite you to join as the e-citizens of Kailasa. So you can actually become a part of the very nation building of Kailasa itself and become active contributors to the cause that the Supreme Pontiff, the Paramavatar of Paramashiva, has descended on planet Earth, and to further his cause, to become his hands literally in furthering the cause and expanding and reviving this great ancient enlightened civilizational nation, Kailasa. Yes, Mangala Maharaj, you can continue.
Actually, very beautifully put, Maharaj, because when you become any citizen of Kailasa, you experientially know, you experientially have the understandings, are empowered by all these various powerful, by the various divine rights given by Kailasa's constitution. The next is the right to have experiential understanding. This is a right not to be hypocritical, not to have the knowledge about the truth in your head, but to have living experience of the truth in your life. This is the right to practice what our scriptures say, to experiment with the truths of our higher identity, to experience ourselves as consciousness. In fact, Bhagavan Sri Krishna calls people who do this as his men of little words, who are very much attached to eulogy, the flowery words of the Vedas.
Wow, it is like Swamiji is reading my mind, in fact. It's very curious. We even find these kinds of, men of little knowledge, modern day intellectuals, the pseudo-intellectuals, so to speak, who never really practice the Hindu science, Maharaj. I'm really thinking that along with, incarnation, who incarnates age to age, every age, even these intellectually, even these pseudo-intellectuals also incarnate with them age to age, to literally, play that role of blinds, leading the blinds and deluding them even more. And while the incarnations are actually trying to bring them out of this delusion.
Yes, Maharaj, that's actually a very good point. There's actually a very interesting story from Bhagavatam, which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism narrates during the unclutching initiation. If you haven't seen the unclutching initiation by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, it took place, the initiation, this was a very special initiation which happened in Haridwar during the Haridwar Inner Awakening, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, during the story, very beautifully narrates, very intimately narrates his experience, his personal connection with Arunagiri Yogeshwara, the whole Leela of Arunagiri Yogeshwara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, very beautifully, very intimately narrates in the unclutching initiation video. It is uploaded and it is there on YouTube, freely available for all of you to watch. So you can all just go ahead to YouTube, and if you haven't watched that, I sincerely recommend all of you to please watch that, and your life will never be the same after that. The unclutching initiation is something so intimate, so close to your heart. Just by listening to the initiation, you will automatically fall into the space of Leela Dhyana, automatically fall into the space of Bhava Samadhi, of the feeling connection with the master, with the avatar. And so actually in that story, Maharaj, you just reminded me, in that story, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism actually narrates an incident from Bhagavatam during that session, the unclutching initiation. And so in course of that, what happened was, on one day, one night, Sri Krishna was playing his flute and the Rasa Leela was going on in Vrindavan. And so one of the Gopikas, she hearing the flute, the music of Sri Krishna, and hearing the Rasa Leela happening, she also wants to go and be part, she wants to go and enjoy Krishna, enjoy the whole space, the whole Leela, the Rasa Leela. But unfortunately for her, her mother-in-law and her mother-in-law and some other relative was sitting at the doorstep of the house. And so actually in Bhagavatam, it beautifully narrates the story that one side, her deep yearning for Bhagavan Sri Krishna, one side complete deep yearning for Sri Krishna, and the other side, the impossibility, not knowing what to do, because she's not able to go and have darshan of Krishna because of the people sitting outside of her house, because this is happening in the middle of the night. And so if she goes out of the house in the middle of the night, there's so many societal things which we have, so many different ideas, things which people start thinking when you go alone in the night, when you leave your house alone in the night. And so one side, the deep yearning for Sri Krishna is there, and the other side, this whole conflict within her, not being able to go with this. Beautifully, Bhagavatam says that all her good karma, all her bad karma, everything was relieved. Everything became burnt off. She became liberated, and that moment she left the body. It is a very beautiful incident. And actually, the point which I wanted to bring here is, so while this incident is very beautiful, while this incident is very beautifully being narrated, at that moment, I mean, why people who are sitting outside the house, what were they doing at, in the middle of the night outside the house, just sitting on the doorstep? And so mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, they were actually checking for the lice and were cleaning each other's hair. And so even from so many thousands and thousands of years ago, in Bhagavatam itself, this reference is given. And so Maharaj, it beautifully narrates and says that we incarnate again and again and again in multiple different ways, multiple different forms, until we finally can achieve and realize our ultimate self, become one with Parandama, with Bhagavan Sri Krishna, with the supreme founder of Hinduism, who is our incarnation of Paramashiva for our age. So entering into the next right which we have is the right only to do action. This is also directly from the verse of Bhagavad Gita. Karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phalehe turbuhu mate sangostva karmani. This is one of the most famous verses from the Bhagavad Gita. Yet today we see this verse only interpreted as a glorification of the ever middle class mindset. In recent films, the way this truth is portrayed is to show off the never back down attitude of Hinduism's heroes. No matter what you throw at them, what situation you put them through, their will remind them to keep working, keep doing, keep moving in life. This, unfortunately, though, is only half understanding of the verse. It may be life positive and inspiring message, but it is only a half-baked truth. The full truth of this verse, this truth was given us the right to be liberated from the compulsiveness of result-oriented action. We think we need to work for the success in our lives. No. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism declares in the preamble of our constitution that this statement is false. He reveals in the modern language the ultimate truth of our scriptures, that success is natural. You have to work for failure. When we bring integrity, we understand success is the natural flow of our life, just like nature.
What a relief is this understanding, isn't it, Maharaj? This would mean you are liberated from cognizing yourself as a failure and from all sorts of self-destructive thought currents. This means in Kailasa, we are going to be working with really productive, successful people. See, the point is that what we define as success is societal. It is a society which puts all these goals in front of us artificially and then makes us run and create whole suffering for ourselves. Even when we achieve those goals, so-called goals, we are never really stable. We don't really feel fulfillment. Just when the goal is reached, another goal is created. So it's never really the success. That's why in the first chapter, we discussed about the depression of success, so to speak. Even though people so-called are successful, but they are just depressed because they don't really understand that this whole definition of success is societal. But the real success in life, as given in the Bhagavad Gita, as Bhagavan Sri Krishna reveals, success is something which is already natural to us. It's already there, innate in us. What we are actually working for is failure because we are looking out. We are looking out for goalposts to achieve, to reach. That's what is bringing all the worry, all the dilemmas, all the suffering to us. If we can just align to our real inner self, the true self, Paramashiva, God himself, we'll realize that actually life is purposeless and it will bring complete completion to us. And from that completion, doing authentic action, each and every action will not be goal-driven or success-driven. It will be authentic and complete in itself, in the moment, and at complete restfulness. Just doing this authentic action from the space of completion itself is the success in life. That is a success which is defined and declared in the Bhagavad Gita, and by virtue of that, as the basic fundamental principle in the preamble of the Constitution of Kailasa by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So imagine a nation where nobody thought themselves a failure. You wouldn't have a load, load of having to convince anyone that they are an asset. They shouldn't feel low about themselves. You don't have to motivate anyone or inspire anyone. No, they simply cognize this truth. You will have situations where everyone grows as natural leaders, Maharaj. Totally. In fact, if you ask me, I totally want to be a part of this ecosystem of Kailasa. And I would invite all the viewers to
Not just you,
their
Maharaj.
comments.
I'm sure there are many people watching us today. I'm sure there are many people watching us today who also want to learn where they can be successful people. Why this whole debate of am I successful, am I failure? This whole debate becomes irrelevant. Anything they do, they automatically are successful. And if you are one of those people, if you are one of those who wants to manifest success in your life, wants what Bhagavan Sri Krishna has given in the source document of Bhagavad Gita, making that a part of your reality, manifesting that in your day-to-day life, not just as a spiritual cognition, as a spiritual truth, but as the laws and guidance for a country, for a civilization to function. You don't need to look any further. Just scan the QR code which is being projected. The QR code will take you to register for the Paramashivoham program, which is the program designed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism personally, himself, for the purpose of molding the enlightened future leaders of tomorrow. So all you need to do is just scan the QR code and register yourself for the Paramashivoham program, where the teachings, where what Sri Krishna has given, has laid out for all of us to practice in the Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism makes it an experiential reality in all. This said, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism also tells us very clearly, very categorically, that we are responsible for all our actions, the reactions you attract from others, the happenings of your life. This right is a solution to our day-to-day problems. What do you have to do as your right and responsibility without worrying about the results? Do not act with hopes for a certain reward. No. Do not stop doing what you need to do because you are afraid of what may lie ahead.
That you have a liberty by this right to cognize that a higher intelligence, a higher governance of the cosmos takes care of the fruits of our actions. We have the freedom to act and not worry about the result. In fact, when you are inviting the viewers to join the program, I really want to add to that if you really want to taste the real success, the success that is not defined by the society, the success that is not labeled by society or given by society to you, but the real definition of success as your own creator, as your own maker has defined for you. If you want to really taste that real success, you should sign up for Paramashivoham now, because that is what will really make you taste the real success in life and mold you and create you and make you a real leader, not just a leader by status, but by the state. So this is like a universal parent telling us, Maharaj, coming to back to the discussion, I'm having a thought that, this whole concept, this whole right, it's like a universal parent, a cosmic parent telling us, keep quiet and do your work. Just do your work.
Very true, Maharaj. Yes, very true. Exactly. The next right which we have is the right to aspire to be a complete man, to be the complete man. The Sthita Prajna, the ideal, is given to you as a right by the preamble of the Constitution of Kailasa. You have the tremendous opportunity to idealize those who are absolutely magnificent in thought, word, and deed because of their state of consciousness. Here we have a clip where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says why enlightened masters have to prove their divinity. I think this is a very important thing which we all need to listen to, which we all need to understand in order for us to truly cognize what is Bhagavan Sri Krishna trying to mean by this, how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has translated this into our language for us to understand. Yes, let us watch this clip, how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says why enlightened masters have to prove their divinity.
Vasudevasudam devam Gamsachanuramardanam Devagi Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishna is not a philosopher. He never creates any philosophy. First of all, he doesn't want to create philosophy. He straight away tries to give the conclusion to the Arjuna. Because Arjuna is not in the mood of receiving it. Because Arjuna is not matured enough to digest it. He has to give the experience to Arjuna. There is a beautiful story in Upanishad. A disciple goes to a master and asks, Master, teach me the Atmajnana. Master says, that art thou, Tattvamasi, you are God. But the disciple is not able to believe. He is not able to believe. He is not able to understand. How can I become God? How can I be God? Still I am afraid of my wife. How can I be God? I have all the problems. How can I be God? He has got 1,000 questions. Then Master proves his divinity. He proves he is God. When Master proves he is God, the disciple is able to trust the Master's words. Then Master says, now do you trust? You are God. Look into yourself. Masters have to prove that they are God to make you understand you are God. Here Krishna is proving his greatness. Again and again he is telling, I am this, I am this. He says, among the rishis, I am the Narada. Among the month, I am Margasirsha. He explains all his glory. And he says, all the devatas are just at my feet. All the Vedas are at my feet. The whole world is in me. He says all these big statements. A normal person, if he listens to all these things, he will think Krishna is egoistic. You don't know what is happening. Krishna again and again says, I am divine. He has to say, he has to prove he is God so that you will realize you are God. When Krishna says, I am God, he means you are God. He makes the statement, I am God, just to make you realize you are God. You don't believe ordinary person's words. You want the proof or the authority, what right you have to utter that word. Here the Krishna is telling the same word which he is going to say in the end of the Gita. But now Arjuna is not ready to believe. Arjuna is not ready to follow. Once Krishna shows his divinity, once Krishna expresses his God consciousness, once he proves that he is God, then Arjuna is ready to believe Krishna's words and execute it. Same way, when masters prove their divinity, when they do some divine miracles, don't think they are doing this for their ego satisfaction. No. First, they have to prove they are God so that you will trust their words and experience you are God. That is the reason, again and again, masters prove their divinity or their energy, what they are.
वसुदेवसुदं देवं
Gamsachanooramardhanam.
What a wonderful sharing by the Supreme Pontiff himself. And also, while this we were watching this video, Maharaj, I was thinking that in Kailasa we will have a higher class elite society of enlightened beings. We're not talking about just having an ecosystem that guarantees you success, but we're also talking about an ambience of enlightened thought. And in fact, not just an enlightened thought, enlightened cognition. Cognition, by cognition, I'm meaning the response mechanism of how you process information and involuntary, how you respond to it. That very cognitive cognition system resonates with that of enlightened masters and living incarnations. It's not just a man-made way of dealing with things. It's simply resonating the highest state of consciousness, living the truth itself, where effortlessly success happens. Because success is natural, right? We just spoke about it. It's something innate in you. It is not given to you by society, and you're not made to run behind fake goals and artificial, labels and this and that. Basically, you are living the truth from the highest consciousness, and you are acting based on that. You're not even cognizing that you are the doer, because you are God. God is doing through you. God is acting. Cosmos is acting through you. You are just completely complete and total in that action, completely authentically acting with full intensity, and at the same time at complete restful awareness and full bliss, without any stress, without any tensions with which the modern day leaders are suffering from. I'm just thinking so many unimaginable possibilities there are, Maharaj, when you get to be surrounded by gods, isn't it?
Yes, Maharaj, exactly. This actually leads us directly into the next divine right all of us should know we have, is the right to meditate, the right to be in the space of unclutching, in the space of samadhi. We have the right to be completely integrated to what you are doing at a particular moment. This is an important right because you need to know you are empowered to be in yoga. Yoga is union of man and divine. Yoga is complete with the divine itself. This is your right to be in the space of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, to be unclutched, to be in a space of constantly listening to your inner space.
Yes, in fact, this is very important, Maharaj. Though we want to be, continuously working and with this wonderful ecosystem, I do want a few minutes with myself to enjoy my aloneness, so to feel, so to speak, to really explore my inner world and look in and just practice complete completion and live it. So this right gives me the power to be meditative in a responsible sense, not just as an escape mechanism for people and from the working world. No, but as a celebration from my original vibrant silence, from where Paramashiva operates also. And it's very essential. It's a very essential practice of Hinduism. You have to have some time for yourself in order to look in and complete with all your incompletions, practice unclutching so that you can actually radiate those highest truths. So the initiation that is given to you by the incarnation, but by Paramavatara, by the Supreme Pontiff, actually starts manifesting. So you need to have some time for yourself to practice that, and having the right to do that, officially encoded in the preamble and in the constitution of a nation. It's like the real deal. It is my fundamental right to even practice meditation and to be in that space so that I can manifest the highest truths.
And so this leaves us with our final right, and that is the right to Advaitha and the right to completion. The right to know you are enlightened because you are all a hologramic part of the reality of the cosmos, of Brahman. You have the right in Kailasa to have access to the highest truths of the cosmos in the most practical, down-to-earth way. Completion can make you experience Advaita, which is the space of non-duality, the space of oneness, the ultimate space of consciousness. Immediately, then, through surrender to the universe and identification of one's true nature occurs, and enlightenment happens. Just like that, you become Paramashiva.
Wow, what a way to close the greatest declaration of rights of our modern time, Maharaj. Everything is covered. No stone is left unturned in the field of spiritual possibilities and even the real world possibilities. In fact, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is through and through all encompassing, taking these magnificent declarations of truth and bringing them into the very governance. This is the promise of the living manifestation of Paramashiva. In fact, the reincarnation of Bhagavan Sri Krishna.
Understand, it is anti-Hindu elements trying to brand Krishna as a lusty guy, but you don't know his sacrifice. If I talk from the space of Krishna, every king married whom they loved, but Krishna married who loved him. He did not get whom he loved. He married who loved him. And all the women who he saved from the demons and devils to give them status, he accepted them as queens. Extreme sacrifice a person can do in the field of love. Krishna is the symbol, ideal of that.
केशव माधव वरद नारायण
केशव माधव वरद नारायण
नंदन कृष्ण नित्यानंदा
नंदन कृष्ण नित्यानंदा
गोविंद गोपाल भजो नित्य श्याम गोविंद गोपाल भजो नित्य श्याम भजो नित्य श्याम भजो नित्य श्याम गोविंद गोपाल भजो नित्य श्याम गोविंद गोपाल भजो नित्य श्याम गिरिधारी बाला वासुदेव बाला
गिरिधारी बाला वासुदेव बाला
जय जय गोपाला नित्यानंदा जय जय गोपाल नित्यानंदा गोविंद गोपाल भजो नित्य श्याम गोविंद गोपाल भजो नित्य श्याम भजो नित्य श्याम भजो नित्य श्याम गोविंद गोपाल भजो नित्य श्याम गोविंद गोपाल भजो नित्य श्याम अच्युत केशव हरि नारायण
अच्युत केशव हरि नारायण
मुरली मनोहर नित्यानंदा
मुरली मनोहर नित्यानंदा
ಪಂಕಜಲೋಚನ ಕುವಲಯ ನಯನ
ಪಂಕಜಲೋಚನ ಕುವಲಯ ನಯನ
ಶ್ಯಾಮಳ ಗಾತ್ರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ
ಶ್ಯಾಮಳ ಗಾತ್ರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ
ಗೋವಿಂದ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ನಟವರ ಲಾಲ ಪರಮ ಪವಿತ್ರ
ನಟವರ ಲಾಲ ಪರಮ ಪವಿತ್ರ
ಬಿಡಿದಿ ನಿವಾಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ
ಬಿಡುದಿ ನಿವಾಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ
ಗೋವಿಂದ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಭಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್.
Yes, we're extremely sorry for the technical glitch that happened before. So what I was really saying is that with all these fundamental divine rights that have been made a part and then encoded in the very preamble of the constitution of Kailasa, and the last right which Mangala Maharaj spoke about, the right to Advaitha and completion, which is the essence of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and in fact the essence of life itself, the very purpose of life. You and us, all of us, being given the right to completion. It's a wonderful way to really close the greatest declaration of rights ever given and ever declared in the modern day humanity. And when we look at the entire list of rights that are encoded, nothing is really left uncovered. No stone is left unturned in the field of possibilities, be it spiritual possibilities, be it the worldly possibilities, anything. In fact, with the very essence of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is giving a way for human beings to really, be in the real world, be in the so-called, outer world, practice and do action from, and yet be a yogi, yet be established in the highest superconscious state of Paramadvaita. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna is through and through all encompassing, covering every aspect of life, every dimension of life, giving a solution to all kinds of people and making them actually as fundamental rights, and taking these magnificent declarations of truth and bringing them into the very governance structure, making them as the fundamental rights in the constitution with the essence in the preamble as the Bhagavad Gita. It is the very promise of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivoham, through the constitution of Kailasa, through the nation of Kailasa itself. And it is a promise given to the entire humanity, and to really uplift them and to give them this breakthrough that they are yearning for such a long time. This is the way we have the opportunity to experience the age-old Sanatana Hindu Dharma become established and revived again in today's age.
Yes, thank you so much, Brahmasika Maharaj, for coming today, on the Nithyananda TV with us and sharing the practical ways of how these rights can empower anyone today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Mangala Maharaj. In fact, for sharing with us the most precious words of our beloved Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, from the preamble of Kailasa's constitution, the Bhagavad Gita decoded, which is his own retelling and for the modern day humanity, of retelling of the Bhagavad Gita, the sacred scripture for the modern man.
Yes, and we'd like to also take this opportunity to thank all our viewers for coming today, spending this time with us and learning about the divine rights which they carry, which they possess as citizens, as Kailasians. To become an e-citizen of Kailasa, it is very, very simple. The QR code is actually being projected and it is being rotated in the bottom in the scroll of the live stream. And all you need to do is just scan the QR code. In the description, there will be a link as well leading you to register yourself as an e-citizen for Kailasa. So become an e-citizen of Kailasa and enjoy the divine rights you possess, you carry, given and ordained by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as laid down by Bhagwan Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. And so now with this, we thank you all for coming today, joining us and being a part of today's session. And we're going to be entering to the next session of today's program, which is the power manifestation. We have witnessed and we have addressed some of the most important divine rights which all of us carry. Now, in the power manifestation session, let us now exercise these rights, exercise the right of manifesting the ultimate, of cognizing ourselves as Paramashiva. Please stay tuned. We'll be back very shortly with the next segment of the power manifestation. We thank you all again for coming today and being a part of this program. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back with you shortly. Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam.
One, some 200.
Why did he do that?
Understand, there is something called Arishat Varka, means 6 major enemies stops you from enlightenment. In that 6 major enemies, shyness is one. The Gopikas have conquered all other patterns. They have surrendered themselves to Krishna. And all other patterns they have conquered. They are in the verge of enlightenment. Only this stupid shyness is stopping them getting enlightened. Nothing else. Their devotion was so ripe and matured. Just this one pattern, if they cross, they will become enlightened. So these guys were taking bath. Krishna goes and steals all the clothes and goes and sits on the tree. Beautifully Vyasa writes, whoever came out of the water, dropping their shyness, came out of the samsara sagara once for all. Came out of the ocean of bondage once for all. Around 200 were bathing. 200 were taking bath. Only 8 came out. That 8 became enlightened immediately. They were the Ashtasakis of Krishna. Only 8 came out. All the 8 became enlightened immediately. So we cannot read the whole incident from our eyes. Read from his eyes. And he is a Divya Sariri. He has no pleasure or pain. Throughout his life, there was no physical relationship. His body is beyond male, female. The action was not out of lust, and it should not even be read with the eyes of lust. And when this whole thing happened, he is only less than 7. Because by 8, he already went to Avantika, means Ujjaini. By 10, he was already in Mathura. He was already in, Mathura. Understand? So, you can't give the sexual color for this action. Is incarnation, Parabrahman, the Purnavatara, Sadashiva himself, the ultimate himself. So he does not need to steal the clothes to see few women naked. You understand?
Because they didn't really explain it when I was reading the story.
Now what I am saying, you should read the original book. The Bhagavatam very clearly describes why, what, the context, getting into the intricate detail is done by the original book Bhagavatam, which is from Vyasa. So maybe if you read this modern translation, it is translated for the purpose of making the whole Hinduism look exotic. They are not interested in the principle. Understand? Right. So it is too cheap way of interpreting the the personality like Krishna, and it is a too cheap accusation. Too cheap accusation on Krishna.
I mean, I just didn't understand it.
No, you see, I am not blaming you, ma. I am just saying how the false accusations are put on our great masters, on whom our tradition stands. That's all. See, this whole Rasalila, they try to project like a RG, and the whole thing happened when he was below 7. Even physically, is it possible? Let's start with some intelligence. Let's not be that stupid. Understand? So it's a beautiful sharing of space, has nothing to do with the lust or sexual act. Krishna says beautifully in the Gita, if you know how I function, you will become enlightened. I tell you, Krishna is the greatest strategizer based on this Paramadharma Ahimsa. Fools and stupids, anti-Hindus are those who claim Krishna made Mahabharata war. No. Understand? Krishna personally went to negotiate peace. And he was abused. And Krishna knows he will be abused. He may be abused when he goes for negotiating peace. But still, he took the risk. Not only abused, there was a murder attempt on Krishna. There was a murder attempt. Krishna followed all the rules of an ambassador. Means coming without any protection, weapon, without any security guard, army, nothing. Just Nirayudha Bani, he came. And these bloody Gaurava fellows and Duryodhana, due to his extreme delusion, he orders Krishna's arrest. And then the whole earth shakes. And Bhuma Devi kicked him out of his throne. He was thrown out of his throne. THROWN. Thrown out of his throne. THRONE. That time itself, Bhuma Devi decided this fellow, this Duryodhana, should not win in the war. See, arresting Krishna, not only not right as per the country law, it's atrocious as per even the cosmic law. Both the way. And originally Hindu kingdoms are supposed to run by cosmic law. It is cosmic law which runs the Hindu countries. Cosmic law itself is adopted as a country's law. That's why the constitutions are drawn. I'm telling you guys. When I read more and more the Hindu constitutions and Hindu criminal procedure codes, what a civilization. I'm just every day falling in love with Manu, Bharadwaja, Yajnavalkya. I tell you guys, I will at least keep all this alive in one place where the future by the grace of Paramashiva and Parashakti, because they are blessing me with power manifestation signs, more and more with power manifestation signs, I am going to inspire many countries, decision makers, judges, administrators to study Hindu scriptures. Just for that, I am collecting and organizing everything. When a judge in a developed country is surprised about the power manifestation science of Hinduism, I will make sure and support him to understand Hindu judicial system, how life positivities. Even though Krishna inspired Arjuna to wage the war, his core being is non-violent. Let me correct the statement, listen. Even though Krishna inspired Arjuna to wage the war, he was never a violent person. He is absolutely established in non-violence. Ahimsa paramo dharmaha. Understand? Understand this one example. Fools think I am wearing gold. Only I know I am wearing Rudraksha. Fools think I am wearing gold. But intelligent people understand I am wearing Rudraksha. Rudraksha is the core I am wearing. Krishna is absolutely non-violent to his core. He wants the humanity to be saved. But those days, the foolish, when he was in the body, the foolish human beings who did not listen made the Mahabharata war and the destruction. Even at that situation, Krishna made sure that minimum damage is done and at least humanity is spared. Understand this. Core of me or Krishna, our core which does the strategy, is pure compassion, non-violence, ahimsa. Janma karma chame divyam evam yovetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanmanaiti mameti Arjuna. Understand? I will expand on this verse when I am continuing with the whole satsang. Now just listen to the verse. Janma karma chame divyam evam yovetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanmana iti mameti Arjuna. Punarjanma naiti. Na iti naiti. Mameti Arjuna. Now listen. Let me. Fundamental.
if you understand the true nature of my existence and the activity, you will become liberated and you will not be bound by the birth-death cycle. One who knows the true nature of my happening and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world and attains my eternal abode.
Understand, it is anti-Hindu elements trying to brand Krishna as a lusty guy.
Nithyananda, it is time now to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. And let's get ready to manifest today's powers. Today we are again having some interesting powers that we're going to manifest. Today we are going to be manifesting the power of third eye, where we are going to be seeing something which is not in front of us. So we have been manifesting the power of third eye, where we just close our eyes with the eye band and see what is there right in front of us. But today we are not going to be manifesting this power. We are going to be manifesting one more power, which is from the third eye itself, which is seeing in a distance, seeing like seeing through obstacles, something like that. Yes. So this is also one of the powers, one of the 7 powers which are from the third eye, one of the major 7 powers which are related to the third eye, which you manifest from the third eye. So let us now get ready to manifest this. So just an example for this power is like if you're in the house and you are able to see what is outside, like how many trees are there, how many vehicles have been parked over there, or who is walking by, or if there is anything that you're able to see from between obstacles. Like if you're sitting in the living room and you're seeing what is happening in the kitchen, or if you're in the upstairs and you're seeing what is happening in the downstairs. So something like these are all the powers of seeing in a distance. So today we are going to be manifesting this power. So let us now get ready to manifest the powers. Like we all know that in Hinduism, there are 4 methods of teaching. First is the Shastra Pramana, then is the Atma Pramana, then is the Apta Pramana, then is the Atma Pramana, then the Sakshi Pramana. So the Shastra Pramana is the direct revelations by Paramashiva himself, where Paramashiva has revealed in the Vedas and the Agamas. And those sciences, time-tested by the rishis, the great aptas who have lived, who have manifested those shaktis or those sciences on themselves, becomes the Apta Pramana. Then is the Atma Pramana, the great enlightened masters or the gurus who are initiating all of us. Our supreme point of Hinduism, the supreme point of Hinduism, has manifested these powers, has tested these softwares on himself. And then he's giving us all the initiation and giving us those great sciences, the divine power manifestations as our experience, which is the Sakshi Pramana. So now it is time to get ready for the power manifestation, where we are going to be manifesting these great powers of Paramashiva with the grace and blessings of the supreme point of Hinduism. Now, you can ask someone who is with you. It could be anyone, like whether your friend or your parents or your anyone who is there with you in your house. You can ask them to maybe stand away from you and maybe in between a wall. You should be in the one room and they should be on the other side of the room. And they can take anything, like any object. They can place any object on the other side of the room, maybe on a table or on a cloth or something like that. And now you're going to be sitting and manifesting this power. So now let us get ready. I give you 3 minutes for all of you to get ready for manifesting these powers. This power we have seen in the Mahabharata, which is like the remote vision power, where Sanjaya got the power to see remotely, seeing anything which is far away. He was just sitting in the palace and he was able to see what was happening in the Kurukshetra war. So this is like the Apta Pramana for this power of the distance seeing through the third eye. So let us now manifest this power and experience this power for ourselves.
We have 1 more minute to get ready and be seated. For the power manifestation, we are just going to be doing 1 round of this power today. And anyone who is with you, they can now keep something on the other side of the wall. You should be sitting, if the wall is like this, you should be sitting on one side and the other person should be on the other side, keeping the objects. So there should not be anything in front of you other than the wall. So you should be seeing in the wall, and on the other side, there should be some objects that is placed for you to scan and see through the third eye by manifesting the power of the distance seeing. Now, please sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. You can sit on the ground or on a chair or any other comfortable place that you are. If you can sit with your legs in Padmasana, that would be the best thing. If you can sit in Padmasana, please do sit in Padmasana. Or if you cannot sit in Padmasana, sit in any other comfortable position. For the manifestation of this power, let us now get ready. Sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes. Visualize the supreme point of Hinduism. Any form of Swamiji, any form of the supreme point of Hinduism, you can visualize. Anywhere where you feel a space of oneness, visualize those forms. Intensely start chanting the Mahavakya. Chant the Mahavakya continuously. Literally, your whole body and the being should vibrate in the Mahavakya. Now, just request Swamiji, in your third eye, Swamiji, please show me whatever is being projected in front of me across the wall. And now you'll be able to see whatever is being projected. You do not have to tie your eyes with an eye band or anything for this. You can have a book or a pencil or a paper, anything that you want to note down. You can write down what are the details that you are seeing. Anything that you are seeing which is there on the other side of the wall, you can write down all of those and keep. The object what they have placed could be anything, so do not try to guess, oh, it is this, it is that, or anything that you feel that it could be which is there in your house or anything like that. Just trust Swamiji, close your eyes, visualize the supreme point of Hinduism and ask, just request Swamiji to show whatever is there. And whatever you see, just write down everything. If you see a shape, if you see colors, if you see any kind of an object, any fruit, anything that you see, just go on writing it down, write down all the details of what you see. And we'll be manifesting this power for the next 3 minutes. And after that, we will be seeing what was the image that was there, what was the object that was kept for you to see. So now we have 2 more minutes to manifest this power. So let us continue to manifest. We have 1 more minute to manifest this power. So let us continuously, intensely chant the Mahavakya and write down all the details of what we are seeing, what is being projected to us. Continuously chant the Mahavakya as you are manifesting this power. Yes. Now you can relax, and now you can go and see what was actually the other person who was there with you, what they projected for you. You can go and have a look at what was there and verify with whatever was revealed by Swamiji to you, whatever the Supreme Point of Hinduism revealed to you through the power manifestation. You can go and verify with what was actually kept over there and see how much you have manifested the power, and what you have seen, what is the power of cognition that you have manifested. Those also you can post on the social media. Next, we'll be posting our experiences on the social media. So now quickly verify what was projected to all of you. Now go and see what was projected. Now all of you can go to the social media and you can post your experiences on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and wherever you are active on all the social medias. And also you can comment on the YouTube or the Facebook. We will be responding to your comments. You can comment anything that you want to, what manifested, what powerful cognitions that you manifested, or what powers that you manifested, what Swamiji revealed to you through the power manifestation, how much power that you manifested, and what was kept in front of you and what you saw. All of these details you can share on the YouTube comments or on the Facebook comments, and also share your experience on the social media. You can share with the photos of what was projected if you want to. And also make sure that you're using the hashtags, hashtag Kailasa, hashtag Nithyananda, and also the hashtag power manifestation. You can use these 3 hashtags to post your experience now. We have 2 more minutes to share our experiences, and then we will be moving on to the next segment of today's session. And the power manifestation itself is not just something that you're able to see across the wall, or you're able to see something with your eyes closed. It is not the goal of the power manifestation, because practically for you, you might not have any use for this power. You might feel like, oh, why is this power? How is this power going to help me in my life? That actually is not the main effect of what the power manifestation is supposed to do to you. The power manifestation itself is the highest space of oneness with Swamiji, the Supreme Point of Hinduism, Paramashiva himself, being in the space of oneness with him and manifesting what you want for your life. Because when you're manifesting these powers, when you just have one intention, when you just hold the intention inside you to manifest what you want, to break the patterns, to break the insecurity, to break whatever incompletions that you have inside you, when you just have that intention and manifest these powers, it will just break everything. This is the most powerful way to manifest anything that you want in your life and get rid of whatever patterns you have, whether fear, greed, or anything that you are suffering with. You can just keep that incompletion in front of you and just manifest this power, and you will see that incompletion is not there anymore in front of you. Swamiji will just make sure that that incompletion is completely erased from your life, and you are manifesting the highest space of Paramashiva himself. So you can share all the experiences that you have manifested today. With this, it is time to move on to the next session, and we are coming to the end of the power manifestation segment. We are going to be having the Nithyananda Satsang. So let us get ready to receive the Supreme Point of Hinduism. Sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Sit in the space of complete listening, in the space of meditative space, in the space of meditation. Sit straight. With this, let us move on to the next segment, which is the Nithyananda Satsang. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
I welcome you all with my love and blessings. Paramashiva's direct message from Kailasa on this auspicious Krishna Janmashtami. Krishna is the ultimate artistic manifestation of the infinity's tyaga. Listen, Krishna is the ultimate manifestation of the art. Artistic. Infinity and tyaga. You can do any permutation combination of these three words. Artistic, infinity, tyaga. Any permutation combination of these three words you can use to define Krishna. You can say infinite tyaga in the form of very artistic expression. You can say infinite artistic expression and ultimate tyaga. You can say infinite tyaga with the artistic expression. You can say tyaga in a very artistic way with infinity. Infinity to the power of infinity. You can use any permutation combination of these three words, infinity, ultimate, tyaga. Any permutation combination of these three, art, infinity, tyaga, you can use these three words in any permutation combination to present Krishna. But of course, no words can describe him. He is Parandama, the ultimate. But to understand his Kalyana Gunas, Ananta Kalyana Gunas, the Vibhudis of him, we can use any of these words. So understand, his life is the ultimate manifestation of the art. Everything he has done, even the most cruel strategies, how he finished Karna, how he eliminated Bhishma, how he finished Drona. Even those most cruel strategies were so artistic. You will see a deep love, compassion, even romance in his most cruel strategies. He made Yudhishthira lie technically that Aswathama has died and collapsed. Drona. But Drona has a third eye. He's a powerful person. After Drona collapsed emotionally, when he started settling into samadhi, with the decision to leave body, he saw very clearly Aswathama is not yet dead. So he decided to stand up again and pick up his weapon. Krishna goes and tells him, enough. If you pick up the weapon now, again it is going to be only you standing with the side of the adharma. You have fulfilled your responsibility and proving your loyalty to the side of the adharma. Enough. Now give up. He convinced Drona not to pick up the weapon and asked Arjuna to kill him. Last minute was not just lying and cheating. He finally went and convinced him towards the side of the dharma. Taking the side of the dharma, Drona dropped the weapons and decided to leave. Because of that, Drona got liberated. Krishna gave him enlightenment, Parandama. Same way Bhishma. When Bhishma was made to fall, collapse, when the Shikandi was brought and made to stand in the front, it's not that Bhishma does not know the strategy. Krishna convinces Bhishma, hey, it is time. You have done, you have repaid what need to be done to the Hastinapura's throne by waging a war with all your strength. Either you drop weapons or I will pick up weapons. Actually, Krishna picked up a wheel of a chariot, which is neither weapon, and you can't say it is not weapon. Krishna has vowed he will not pick up a weapon in the war. But Yudhishthira knows, even as a Narasimha, he did not pick up any weapon to kill Hiranya, because the Hiranyakashipu has a boon. He cannot be killed by any weapons. So use the nail, which can't be called as weapons, but which killed Hiranyakashipu. Same way, Bhishma knows if Krishna decides, he will find something. Without violating his vow, he will not pick up weapon. He knows how to pick up something. And finish Bhishma. So he convinces Bhishma, it's time. You have done what you need to do to prove your loyalty to the throne of Hastinapura. You have done what you need to do to prove your affiliation to the throne of Hastinapura. Now it is time for you. Drop the weapons and be on the side of Dharma. He is such poetic, artistic, loving, romantic manifestation, even in his most cruel strategies. You will see his love manifesting. And it's not that Karna does not know. The old man who is standing in front of him, the old Brahmana is Krishna himself. When Karna was lying on the ground without any weapon, trying to lift the wheel of his chariot, it's not that Karna does not know, because by the time Krishna reached Karna had a layer of protection by the Dharma Devata. She started protecting him. All the arrows Arjuna sends falls only as a garland on Karna. That is when Krishna realizes, oh God, now I'll have to remove this punyas, the dharma which he has done, the dana which he has done. Now he need to Krishna need to play a strategy, do something. I can describe every situation. I can describe every strategy. Even it looks most cruel. I can see tremendous love of Krishna. Listen. I call Krishna as the Tyagesha, ultimate Tyagi. Whole world accused him, even now accusing him of the person who lived all pleasures to the extreme. They call all the worst words. They use all the worst words on him. Everyone thinks he had a most luxurious life with all kinds of pleasures to the extreme. But nobody knows he is the ultimate Tyagi from birth. From birth. His birth itself is out of Tyaga. Why should Parandama, who is living happily in Vaikunta, in Yoga Nidra, has to come down? That itself is a Tyaga. Next, the moment he is born, He is separated from the mother. Somebody else brought him up. Then, the moment he has grown, he has to leave the place he was brought up, the place he knows as his world, only if you are made to leave the place you have grown, the place you know as your world, you will understand the Tyaga of Krishna. He leaves just because he wants to create something great and show to the world. Dwarka and the ecosystem of Dwarka and what he did through the Dwarka was a demonstration of creativity and positivity in those days for the whole world. And then he sacrifices even Dwarka because his son messed up with Durvasa. His son disrespected Durvasa because the inheritors are not going to keep the purpose of Dwarka. He understood if he leaves Dwarka as it is, it may become anti-humanity instead of boon to humanity. So he finishes it. He takes very clear decision. For the sake of the good of the world, ready to do Tyaga of anything. And you guys call him? Fools call him as womanizer. Fools call him as person after pleasure. Fools call him as human being. Tyagesha. 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 Actually, he won Mahabharata war, not Pandavas, not Arjuna, not Yudhishthira, not Bhima. Krishna used all their bodies and he won the Mahabharata war, and all the blame of the war crimes and the war losses are put on Krishna. He got all the accusations, abuses on him, but he did not coronate himself and become the king of Hastinapura. And nobody could have stood against him if he decided to become the king of the Hastinapura. But after the whole war, he does the coronation to Yudhishthira, Dharmaraja, and he simply goes back to his Dwaraka. which is practically empty, because one acrony of Narayani Sena, which he created with all his blood, sweat and energy, the amount of training he has done, creating that one acrony of Narayani Sena is gone, because the Narayani Sena stood against him, the opposite side. He knows what he taught them, all the powers Narayani Sena has, and he teaches this side, is the side where he is standing, the Pandava side, how to finish his own Narayani Sena, because the Sena is on the other side, whom he trained, his blood and sweat, his whole life he has put on training them. But because they are on the other side, he tells Gadodgaja, don't worry, none of the Narayani Sena can use their powers in the night time. You go and finish them off in the night time. And Gadodgaja goes and finishes them off. I think the Gadodgaja enters the scene 14th night. 14th night, the whole Narayani Sena is over, done. Because he knows the key. In every level, his tyaga, all kinds of accusations he faced. He was accused of having 16,000 wives. Please understand, he gave them the status of his wives to all those 16,000 women. He empowered them with the status of his own queens, not for any sexual pleasure. And I am pretty sure he has not had any sexual relationship with any of them. And first of all, he cannot have any pleasure from the other person. He is the source of the joy, energy, excitement and pleasure. How can he have pleasure from another person? He only will, if at all, if he has had a physical relationship with anyone, he has given the pleasure. Tremendously, he has showered himself on that person with so much of accusation, abusal, scandals, attacks due to the scandals. If you read the 100 abuses he tolerated from his enemy, the whole 100 is about sexual accusations. Almost majority of them. I can say the whole thing is from the sexual connotation only. Whether the demons he has to face as a child and kill, or the amount of accusations, bad-mouthing, gossiping, scandals, he has to face, or the criminal murder attempts he has to face from Gamsa, in every level, he demonstrated his tyaga. I should say most suffered, most misunderstood, but ultimate tyagi among the incarnations is Krishna. See, the whole Narasimhavatara happened only for 2 muhurta. 1 muhurta is 1.5 hours, 2 muhurta is 3 hours, that's all. Whole Narasimhavatara is just 3 hours. In Ramavatara, he did not suffer scandals. He lived only with Sita. So there was no attacks, scandals, gossips. He lived as Maryata Purushottama from the beginning. In Matsyavatara or Kurmavatara, he has no relationship with human beings. He has not suffered. The worst gang in the whole cosmos is humanity, human beings. He has not suffered by interacting with this worst gang, worst mafia in the cosmos is human beings. But in Krishna Avatara, he has got the real taste of human being. He has got the real taste of human beings. Whether Kamsa, his own uncle, trying to kill him, Kamsa trying to kill him the moment he was born, from that to Aswattama finally sending the Brahmas is only Vamsa, Parikshittu. Krishna knows Parikshittu is the only guy who is going to carry his DNA. Parikshittu's mother was Krishna's own sister, Subhatra. So the Yadava DNA is going to be kept alive continuously only through Parikshittu. So the last attack in the whole thing, you can see his tyaga. His absolute tyaga. Even when Bhishma violated the dharma, you see, as per dharma, you can't put the arrows on Sarathi, the charioteer. Krishna is Partha Sarathi, the driver for Arjuna. So you can't put arrows on Sarathi. Bhishma violated and put arrows on Krishna. You can see the wounds of Bhishma Bana on Parthasarathhi's face, even now in Chennai. Triplicane Parthasarathi temple. If you go to Parthasarathi temple, the deity Parthasarathi, he carries that Bhishma Bana wounds on his face. The whole face will be filled with the wounds of the Bhishma Bana. The Utsava Vigraha of Triplicane Parthasarathi temple, you will see the whole face, the wounds of the Bhishma Bana, and the only place Krishna will be with mustache, the deity of Krishna with mustache and beard, is Triplicane Parthasarathi, because he was resting after the war. He can't shave the face. The face was full of Bhishma Bana. The wound of the Bhishma Bana was there. After the war was over, Krishna came to Chennai, the Triplicane, to have a vacation, to rest for a few days and recuperate, to get well from the war wounds. That is why in Triplicane you will see the whole family standing inside the Garbha Mandir. Everyone of the Krishna's family will be inside the Garbha Mandir, because all of them were taking care of him and to recoup from the wounds of the war. The face was full of Bhishma Bana, the wounds of Bhishma Bana. That's why the Moolamurti is with mustache and beard. He could not shave, too many wounds. And the Utsava Murti has all the wounds of the Bhishma Bana on his face. Even when Bhishma violated the Dharma, Krishna did not kill him back by picking up the weapon. Actually, if Krishna picked up the wheeled chariot and killed Bhishma, it would not have been adharma. He did it for defense. Bhishma violated the dharma, so naturally Krishna has a right to protect himself, right to defend himself. So it would not have been adharma. How in every step he demonstrated his infiniteness. He demonstrated his art, artistic sense, love, romance, and how he demonstrated his ultimate tyaga. Whether the way he created the new nation, purpose of the new nation, or the purpose of all his strategies, everything, you can see an extraordinary tyaga. You can see his love for Srishti, his love for the humanity, his love for the whole Srishti, not just humanity. When he needed to reduce the Bhubara, the load on the planet Earth, to save the Srishti, he has to sacrifice certain number of certain type of human beings. He was ready to do it. Understand? The time of the Krishna was such, too many stupid fellows were having the nuke in their hand, nukes in their hand, nuclear bombs in their hands. It's like in YouTube, how to make nuclear bomb. The whole technology is put and the whole thing is made open source. That is the way it was in those days. Any Tom, Dick and Harry. And this Ashwatthama who can't control even his simple anger, who can't think of the larger picture of the Srishti as a Brahmastra. Any time he can finish up the whole Srishti. Too many people were having too many destructive weapons. Like presently now, all the countries have enough weapons to destroy the whole planet Earth 600 times. Not once or twice. All the nuclear weapons all the countries have piled up now can destroy planet Earth 600 times. It can wipe off humanity on the planet Earth 600 times. Exactly the situation was same at the time of Krishna. So first thing he has to do, he has to destroy all those weapons and the people who are absolutely demonic, and even if you destroy their weapons, they will get the powers back if they are allowed to live. Those kind of people, they themselves should be finished. That was the need at the time to save the Srishti. If the Srishti has to continue, if the world has to continue, Krishna has to do this job. I think he is the first incarnation who came down to do the dirty job and got all the blames, but did the tyaga, knowing at some time of the humanity, someone will realize my tyaga. Maybe when I am in the body, nobody will understand or appreciate. But at one point, people will understand my tyaga. He knows. That guy who abused him 100 times. Some of you, if you remember his name, put his name. Shishubala, yes. Just because Krishna gave a commitment to Shishubala's mother, 100 abuses I will tolerate. He just allowed Shishubala to abuse him in the public court 100 times. Only then he took his Sudarshana Chakra. What a integrity to his words. Among the tyaga sacrifice, the greatest sacrifice is getting abused for your tyaga. Whether he played with gopikas or his so-called 16,000 wives in Dwaraka, it was all absolute tyaga. Never any need for pleasure or demanding pleasure or getting the pleasure. And being abused and accused for his tyaga. And then having patience. Just seeing the larger good of the humanity. For all the abuses he went through. If he just said, bye, you guys do what you want, and went back to, not even to Parandama, to Paramapada, If he has just gone back to his Dwaraka and lived his life, humanity would have gone to pieces, because people had so much of weapons piled up, and people who had nuclear weapons were stupid, irresponsible, reactive type of cheap people. And this fool Ashwatthama, he just uses the Brahmastra out of his temper, not even a logically analyzed anger, temper. The fool was so deluded in his temper, instead of killing the Pandavas, he kills Panduputras. He doesn't even know whom he is killing, and he is killing. Can you imagine? The worst weapons are in the hands of the worst people. So the only way is create a controlled condition, keep it under your control, and destroy all the weapons and all those beings which has become a weapon. What a tyaga, what a strategy, what a manifestation of infinity. How cute, sweet way he uses Saguni to make Duryodhana wear the banana leaf when he goes to Gandhari to make his body diamond. Gandhari wants to give the power of her third eye and make Duryodhana's body into diamond. I want you to know each of the chakra as kind of when that chakra gets solidified with the highest power, it becomes one ratna, type of ratna. If the Vishuddhi gets solidified, it will become the ratna of coral. If the Anya becomes solidified, it will become the ratna diamond. So, if you have that habit of putting a sticker dot in your forehead, if you put diamond on it, your third eye will be continuously active. So she wants to make her power of third eye, the diamond, into Duryodhana's body and make the whole Duryodhana's body into Vajra, diamond. And if Krishna tells, Duryodhana may not believe. So before Saguni's death itself, in some conversation, at some situation, he makes Saguni tell Duryodhana the mana, covering of the body, is too important. Actually, the day when Duryodhana went to meet Gandhari to receive that power, by that time Saguni was dead. But Krishna reminds Duryodhana the words of Saguni and tells him, hey, don't you remember Saguni told you covering of the body is very important. At least your hip part you need to cover, at least with a banana leaf. You can't stand naked even in front of your mother. Because the Saguni's words are reminded by Krishna, Duryodhana agrees. Otherwise, will Duryodhana ever believe something Krishna tells? Read Mahabharata, you will understand. You should all read. Bhagavatam and Mahabharatam, just to understand the personality called Krishna. How the Radha Krishna becomes Gita Krishna. The personal tyaga. And the tyaga he has done in every level for the sake of the larger good of the humanity. Balaji Srinivasan is asking, is there an English version or translation that Swamiji recommends? Prakashanandaji of Houston, Barsana Dham. In Houston, there is a temple called Barsana Dham. Read that founder Prakashananda Swamiji's version. He is the most authentic on Krishna Sampradaya. He has written some of the most beautiful books. And Bhagavatam, surely Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's. So these two acharyas, the Prakashananda Saraswati of the Barsana Dham in Houston and Srila Prabhupada ji of ISKCON founder. These two acharyas' books on Mahabharata and on Bhagavatam, I'll recommend. That's the most authentic and the right way of explaining the Krishna Sampradaya. See, Krishna should be seen from the Krishna Sampradaya eyes. Even if I try to praise Krishna, I'll be looking at the eyes of the Sampradaya of the Shaivism, because my blood and bone and the core is Shaivite tradition. So I will be looking at even Krishna from the perspective or the eyes of the Veda Agamas. So surely Srila Prabhupada and Prakashananda Swamiji. Prakashananda ji of Houston, Barsana Dham. Houston, there is a temple called Barsana Dham, and the founder of that Barsana Dham, Swami Prakashananda, is the disciple of Jagadguru Kripal Maharaj. When you see from the eyes of Srila Prabhupada ji and Sri Prakashananda ji's eyes, you will see Krishna in the Vaishnavite eyes and the light. Ultimately, Krishna can never be explained by anyone because he is beyond words. Vangmanadi kosarancha neti neti bhavitam. He is beyond the Vangmana, and only through not this, not this, not this, that neti neti bhava, ultimately you will realize him, you will experience him. That Paramapada and Parandama, that's different. But if you want to taste Krishna from the eyes of the Krishna Bhakta, the Krishna Vaishnava Sampradaya, the Gaudiya Sampradaya, you should see that through Srila Prabhupada ji and Sri Swami Prakashananda ji. I'll give you from my eyes how I see Krishna. I see Krishna as the greatest Tyagi, the greatest artist, the greatest manifestation of the infinity in every level. Ananta Kalyana Guna Sagara, ocean of zillions of auspicious qualities. Parandama. Every incident of Krishna's happening, I can speak for days. Whether the greatest gift he has given as Gita, or everything I say, I tell you, everything he has done is Tyaga. This Meena Joshi is messaging. Ishit Prakashananda Saraswati, the media refers to him as the fugitive guru of Barsana Dham. Come on. Meena Joshi, why can't you drop what media refers about him? Then media refers about me also fugitive guru only. If media was there during the Krishna's time, they would have referred him also as a fugitive only. Because he escaped from Mathura, Vrindavan and went away to the other corner of the known land of those days, Dwaraka. See, Mathura and Vrindavan is this corner, the banks of Yamuna, of the known land of those days. And he moves to the other corner, Gujarat, Dwaraka, which is the end of the known land at that time. If there was a media at those days, they would have referred Krishna also the same thing. So drop what media refers about them. Actually, you can use this as a scale. If media abuses some Hindu guru, be very clear, he is a real staunch Hindu guru. If there is no media abusal on that guru, he's a, all right, why should I don't want to make any comments, pass any comments, forget about it. I'll say only this much. If some Hindu guru is abused, attacked, left, right, center, up, down, below the belt, in every possible way, every kind of a naming, shaming, body shaming, without any decent, without any basic decency, without any decent presentation, or without applying any basic logic. If some Hindu guru was attacked, abused by media, be very clear, he is a staunch, real, right Hindu guru. Go with him. If media goes after him, you go with him. Global media is going to be forever against Hinduism because it is created by Hindu-Misia forces. Why do you expect Hindu-Misia forces to be supporting Hindu gurus? Come on. Still I am alive and breathing itself is because of Paramashiva's grace on me. So Meena Joshi, drop what media refers about Prakashananda Saraswati. Be very clear. He is one of the greatest masters of Hinduism. You think when Vivekananda was in the body, he was praised? You think when Paramahamsa Yogananda was in the body, he was greatly praised, appreciated, accepted? Through his living body, he proved he is the great yogi by achieving Jiva Samadhi and not body disintegrating. Like a regular dead body, he has established his greatness. So Meena Joshi, please drop what media refers to him. I want all my disciples to respect, revere Prakashananda Saraswati and Srila Prabhupada ji, of founder of ISKCON, and read their books, read their commentaries on the scriptures. Media is like a Sishubala. If media abuses some Hindu guru, you should be very clear he is the real Hindu guru. That's all. That's the way you should identify a real Hindu guru. Krishna. The greatest gift you can receive from Krishna is Krishna Bhakti. If you can stand in awe seeing Krishna, it's the real lip lock with Krishna. Sorry for very open but very sweet. If your jaws drop seeing the grandeur of Krishna, lip lock with Krishna. What a being. Krishna Bhakti is the greatest gift you can receive from Krishna. I'll say Gita is only second gift. First gift is Krishna Bhakti. Gita is encyclopedia of Hindu philosophies in one book. I can describe Gita in multiple terms, multiple words. But Krishna Bhakti is the best gift you can receive from Krishna. You should understand the grandeur of Krishna from every dimension. The manifestation of his intelligence, manifestation of his tyaga, manifestation of his love, manifestation of his infinity. Not only when I start talking about Krishna, even when I think about Krishna, I can't close my mouth. Krishna is the face of Hinduism. Krishna is the symbol of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. whether is Radha Krishna dimension or Gita Krishna dimension, is every dimension. He manifested Parameshwaratva. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devagi Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum, being in awe about Krishna is Krishna Bhakti. That is the prasada you should receive on this Krishna Janmashtami. Let's ask Krishna Bhakti on this Krishna Janmashtami. With this prayer to Krishna, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddha Advaitha Saivam, the state, space, powers, being, Kailasa Maha Kailasa of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful. Understand, if your purpose is existential reality and artificial ignorance, artificial intelligence of the matrix is used to support it, great, you are out of the matrix. But if your purpose is artificial ignorance, even if you own the whole planet Earth, ownership idea itself is artificial stupidity. Within the matrix, anything you do is waste of your time, which is life for you. Your time is money for your boss, pleasure for your beloved. Your time has a various meaning for many people in your life. But for you, your time is life. If artificial intelligence or artificial ignorance, which all of us commonly accepted and created, if that becomes the purpose of your goal, you are grown, not living. Let artificial intelligence not be your purpose. It's a very good servant, but that is not purpose of life. Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivasamaramba Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I welcome all the living and practicing Hindus from all over the world. I welcome all the Sarvanyapita Kartas, Yajamans, manifestors, Sarvabharityagis, Shrimahans, Mahans, Kotari, Tanedar, visitors, viewers, Kayakalpa Yoga participants, KAILASA'S e-Gurukul students, everyone sitting with us, KAILASA'S NHU students, Paramashiva Ganas, Paramashivoham Season 9 participants, sitting with us through Kailasa TV, KAILASA'S NTV, KAILASA'S HNTV. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. Already the Krishna Janmashtami has started. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. The absolute compassion, absolute love manifests with cosmic vision about life. Understand? Already Krishna Jayanti has started cosmically. Even though we will be celebrating it tomorrow, as per the country time, I think 11th August in India, we will be celebrating. But cosmically the mood has started. I should say that today's message can be understood completely. Listen to this message. If your vision expands, you ooze, radiate absolute compassion, absolute love, which is power. Understand? Neither compassion nor love is weakness. Both are power. Delusion is weakness. Neither compassion nor love is weakness. It comes from the power of the cosmic vision. And I want you to know, whenever you manifest powers, suddenly your being becomes matured. And it starts radiating more and more love and compassion. I have always seen very good power manifestors are absolute non-violent. They just feel everything related to violence is irrelevant. Hey, I am telling you, when I raise myself to a existence where my enemies can't attack me anymore, can't harm me anymore, they become irrelevant. They are no more enemies. Understand this. Ayo, keta vairunje enna avanangana theriyali. You see, that is the way I live my life. I just make myself, my lifestyle, space, my mission, and myself absolutely unreachable for the enemies. Over. Then they become irrelevant to my existence. And they are no more enemies. When somebody is irrelevant to your existence, why will you even remember them as enemies? I tell you, really, the simple secret is expand your vision. That's all. Listen. I'll give you an example. Understand, everything in the world, in the universe, is Nithya, eternal. All the good you do is eternal. It comes with you forever. Same way, all the bad you do comes with you forever. The secret to drop the sufferings from the bad is dropping that pattern. See, if you decide to drop that pattern due to which you do bad things, all the bad things you did in the past, all of them lose power over you, they just die. They just die. All the bad karma just disappears, gets burnt. The moment you burn the pattern, karma is also burnt. Same way, at one point in your life, you need to burn even good things. If you do dana of the good things, it gets burnt. If you sacrifice your punya, do dana, it gets burnt. Understand? In your life, you have to burn bad and good both. If you burn only bad and want to enjoy good, you can enjoy. That is also your freedom. Watch today's satsang 3-4 times, because I am going to reveal many of the cause, the reality of life. First thing, everything is Nithya, eternal. If you cherish enmity, anger, violence, do some actions because you have an upper hand, don't think you can escape from it. Be very clear, good and bad both are Nithya, eternal. You can get rid of bad. Bad can be burnt if you burn that pattern due to which you cause bad things. You can get rid of good when you want to get rid by simply doing dana of that good. Like how Karna gave all his punya to Krishna. Being a great devotee, Arjuna got Vishwarupa only for a few seconds. Karna had Vishwarupa Darshana, and in that space he was given liberation. Karna moksha is not an ordinary joke, I tell you. Karna moksha is the absolute compassion of Krishna. Krishna, in his element of compassion, is Karna moksha. Because how much Karna abused Krishna, I know. The way Karna, just to please Duryodhana. See, Duryodhana abusing Krishna is nothing, because everyone knows Duryodhana is shit. But Karna is a man of a character, strength and glory, and certain charisma and energy. When a personality like Karna abuses Krishna, it's a real insult, real abusal. But Krishna using his personal quota. Each incarnation has their own personal quota. They have a veto power to give liberation to any kind of persons, any kind of being. So, Krishna has decided to give liberation to Karna for various reasons, because he himself planned and took that Surya Kavacha and Surya Kundala from Karna's body to protect Arjuna. So he decided that, let me liberate, let me give at least moksha. One beautiful thing with Karna, he has done so much punya by dana. Hey, listen, I tell you, there are multiple levels, purposes about dana and dharma and charity in Hindu tradition. Maybe in some satsang I'll explain. Now I'll just give you a few lines. See, there are some kind of charities done to keep the concept and value of currency alive. See, if you make people feel currency is not reachable at all, it's very difficult to get it, currency will lose its value. Understand? If too much of currency is available, it will lose its value. Like you will have to carry $1 billion for your petrol bunk. There are some countries where $1 billion bills have come, $1 million bills have come, but no value. If too much is available, it will not have value. And same way, if it is too difficult to get it, it will not have value. To keep the greed of the common man on currency alive, but not to make too much available, and to make him work towards that false idea of currency, the value of the currency is kept. For that, the actions done is called dharma. Listen, in yaga yajnas, large yagas, kings will do this charity. Whoever comes, they are given. That is actually the way of keeping the currency's value alive. Whatever the king decides should be valued in his country, he will do that as dharma. It is dharma with the purpose purpose of keeping the value of that currency alive in the society. If that king feels pearls is the largest gem available in the country and he wants the value of the pearls to be really kept current, then he will do dana of pearls. So the whole city knows, wow, pearls are important, pearls are important, pearls are important. Understand? What I am talking is a very subtle economic principle. Listen, all the big charity done by the big billionaires, trillionaires is just this. They want to keep the value of the currency. They want to make a common man still have hope of achieving currency, so he is forced to work continuously. Listen, I will never believe the charity of trillionaires. If you are having the charity mind, you will not be waiting to make trillions and then start your charity. All right, let's not get into that subject. Leave it. Let me talk about only how the Hindu kings kept the currency current. Currency will be kept current only if the greed and hope is kept alive. See, neither people should have too much, nor they should lose hope that they are never going to get it. So the currency can be kept alive, currency can be kept current only if there is a balance between availability and non-availability. To keep that balance, certain actions are done as a homa, yaha, yajna. A large kind of charities are organized. See, in Hindu tradition, it says that kings from multiple nations will come with the best things available in their kingdom and do large quantity of charity in Kumbh Mela. For example, the Pandya Raja will come with like huge quantity of pearls and large elephants and do dana of that pearls in Kumbh Mela. Why? Doing good is one. Next, the concept of pearl, and pearl is precious, pearl is valuable, is promoted among the millions of people. Understand? Each nation brings their best. Through dana, they promote it, make it as current in common man's life. This Paramashivoham is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way. The principal cognitions, they will be manifesting experientially. Each of the principal cognitions, the principal truths, the whole science of manifesting Paramashiva in you is presented as four major paths: Tariya Pada, Kriya Pada, Yoga Pada, Jnana Pada. The whole Hinduism is founded on these four words. Holding the cognition you are the ultimate Paramashiva and making that as your lifestyle, manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, everything of Paramashiva in your day-to-day life, learning it, manifesting it, living it, you will be having the space in the shoulder, and from sitting on the shoulders of Paramashiva, Guru himself, traveling to Mahakailasa and experiencing Paramashiva in ultimate, blissful, safest, bestest way